Taurus, the few weeks before your birthday is a time to release and let go. And in this releasing, you can prepare yourself for your new birthday month. There are a few very important cycles that are happening in the month of April. The first one is Venus conjunct Mars in Aries. And Aries is right behind you. It's a sign behind Taurus. And Venus conjunct Mars in Aries represents the concept of going after what we want, what is important, but because it's behind you, it can be hard to see. And it does mean that you could put effort or energy into going after a desired object, whether it's a lover or your favorite pair of shoes, that you might not see something about it that isn't in your best interest. So be very conscious of whether or not what you want is, in the long run, and in all ways, really that which is good for you. The new moon in Aries happens on April 10th. And again, it's in the sector behind the Aries is behind you. And so with the new moon, there can be a sense of knowing or feeling of where you might be your own worst enemy or where you might trip yourself up in life. And again, it's part of that getting ready for your new birthday year that is not too far down the road. Pluto goes retrograde once a year. And Pluto is going retrograde, of course, in Capricorn. It's an earth sign. You're an earth sign. So there's a harmonious angle with Pluto. But it does represent that this time is very significant. It has more punch to it. And it's in an angle to your Taurus energy that represents transforming your thoughts, your beliefs, what you know, what you think you know. So there's a transformation energy around that. And there may be something that you've always believed that you look at in a different way around now. And it's a very good time, actually, to go to any retreat, to go to any type of gathering where you can gather new knowledge, new information, especially if it is a philosophical or spiritual bent. On the 15th, Venus is going to enter your sign. So when Venus goes into Taurus, that starts to bring little treats your way, little things that you can find that make life enjoyable. It's more of an enjoyable time. The Sun enters Taurus on the 19th, and that's officially begins your birthday month. And you will feel that push to really start to perhaps even celebrate that now is a time of new beginnings. Even if you're a late Taurus, that meaning that you were born, your sun is not in the early degrees of Taurus, but at the later degrees of Taurus. With Venus moving in Taurus itself, it does inspire, it does bring more pleasure, brings more pleasure into your life. And the next day, after the sun goes into Taurus, on the 20th, Mars goes into Taurus. Now, Mars in Taurus, that is a powerful time that says get up and do things, because Mars wants to give us the energy to go after what we want. Now, in Taurus, it's completely different than Aries, which can be more boisterous. It's a fire sign, so there's more of a methodical way. But it can suit you to a certain degree of nudging you to get after embracing the life that you want. What's very important is the lunar eclipse on April 25th. The lunar eclipse, so the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Scorpio. And as you know, with Mars being in Taurus, Mars is conjunct the sun on the lunar eclipse. So on one hand, there's this urge to, I want my life. This is what I want. Nobody's going to make me do anything. This is what I want. But the moon, the illumination of the full moon, is highlighting Saturn in Scorpio opposite your sign. And therefore, it's like you may find or become aware that what you want and what somebody else wants is opposite. is at odds. And having that illumination just to see it, it's like, oh, okay, what do we do about it now? So look towards the lunar eclipse around the 25th to have the insight of those individuals in your life, in your world, where they may not want what you want, and you may not want what they want. And to see the difference there. Because ultimately, the reflection from others helps us settle things within ourselves, especially if it's things that we don't normally want to look at or acknowledge, because there could be a part of us wants one thing, another part wants another thing. So pay attention to the full moon to see if anything is mirroring back to you a side of you that is in conflict. I want to be able to do this, but a part of me doesn't want to have the consequence of doing that, and finding peace. Because ultimately, the sun energy is the will energy of what I want to go out and do in the world, accomplishment. The moon is emotional happiness. And sometimes what we want to accomplish in the world, you may feel, I'm not saying it's true, but you may feel there's a cost to it, and you may sacrifice some of emotional happiness for that, and this is the time to bring that back to balance.